Hi, this is Josh Williams again with Ronin Training Center's Advanced MMA program. We're going to pick up on the Kickstand series, looking at a different variation after we pass to a leg weave. In the last segment that we did, we covered passing to the leg weave and then hunting the wrist ride when the guy bellies down to create base. In this one, before the guy bellies down, we're going to look for a different variation where we finish with a gift wrap position. All right. So again, starting his guard. I force Brandon to bring his hands down to defend. As soon as he does, I post on his hands to keep control. You guys have to get control of both these hands. Even if he brings his hands down and I do this, he's going to grab control of my hands. Now, at first, that doesn't seem like a big deal. Okay, go ahead and get control. All right, not a big deal. I can still post and build my base here. The problem is at the point where I start to build my base. When I step up, I have no way of stopping him from going from any kind of sweeps where he can hook for my legs. All right, so if I start to come up and Brandon hooks, digs here, or goes under, I can get caught in situations like this with like pendulum sweeps and things of that nature. So I can't let him have control of his hands as I build my base. That is the big point of bringing his hands down, making him bring his hands down to where I can get control and build my base off of that. Okay, if I do not have these hands, or if I have one hand and my other hand's posting on him, he can still get a grip and look to start sweeping if I do certain things. I want to make sure I get both of his hands. Once I get them, build base, go deep, deep, kickstand. Look to land my punches, follow with the hips. You didn't see that probably, but I almost lost my balance going forward. When Brandon's hips came down, I had to adjust my hips. If I stayed leaning as I came over, I ended up coming to my hands. When I felt my weight start to shift and Brandon came down, my hips drop. So drop your hips. And my chest comes back so that I can maintain my balance. All right, from here, push the hips forward, get control of his legs. Drive yourself to the leg weave position. Now, on this one, I'm going to start throwing punches with my top hand to make Brandon cover with a telephone defense. Okay? He's doing this way, right here. I hit him a couple times. If I can slip him through, awesome. But a big thing is I want him to bring that hand up. I want access to this hand. Okay? Once he does this, I'm going to take my hand, my left hand, turn the thumb down, and all I'm going to do is just take his wrist and drive it to the floor right in front of his face. Here, shove it right in front of him. I do it with a straight arm. I'm not trying to hold it like this where it's a muscle thing and I'm fighting Brandon's grip back. So if I'm doing this, I'm going to lose this battle. It's hard to control. So when I drive it off of his face, I'm doing it with a straight arm so I can immediately post on it. Here. Now it's going to have to be much harder for him to pull that grip back. My other hand swims under, gets the wrist. My back leg is going to step high, tight to his body up underneath his armpit. And now I lean back, putting tension on his back, pulling his hand up and driving in with my hips. He's not rolling. He's not turning. This top hand that I have control over is not defending anything. And this bottom hand is essentially useless. All right, I just keep tension and start landing my shots until the referee pulls me off of him or I put him out. One more time. Land my shots to get his hands down. Build kickstand. Up. Start landing my shots. Bring the hips forward. Another little tidbit as we come through to the leg weave, and I drive to here. Let's turn this way a tiny bit, Brandon. Notice where my toes are. I'm trapping his bottom leg, okay? My instep being over top and my toes being trapped here keeps him from swimming over the top and trying to tuck for a knee bar situation, okay? Now, my hips also do a large part of controlling and stopping him from turning that easily and giving him a space to do that, but I make sure my toe stays safe back here. I keep my foot hidden behind his leg so he can't just reach over and grab it, okay? So back to the leg weave. I get him to cover with the top hand. Just reach down. Just has to be smooth. Boom, boom. Get wrist control. Drive it to the floor in front of his face. Other hand comes through. Grab his wrist. Feed it. And it's a smooth motion here. Feed it off. Step up. Put the pressure on. You can't really see it, but Brandon can tell you he's feeling it a lot through his back and his spine right now, as I'm doing here. He can't defend his face. His hips are out of commission. And I looked for landing big shots and see if that referee is going to take the hint and come over and stop this fight. And that's finishing your leg weave with a gift wrap.